Welcome everybody to Truth Tuesday. We're coming over from Lisa's channel where we were talking about a lot of stuff with Arkansas and what they've done this last week. Interesting things that they're doing that are we have mixed feelings on, but basically happy. So welcome over here. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you have not already. So,
and they said to do this thing to mess with the algorithm to unsubscribe and then subscribe again. And somehow that jacks the algorithm or something.
well,
Maybe try that.
let's track the algorithm.
I would love to
smack it around.
Yeah.
There we go.
Polly knows.
Okay. So we started talking about Israel over there. I don't have the. There you go. Hey, Tom. Listen, making dinner. I've eaten 180 calories in 2 days.
Might have been why you slept so much.
Well, I didn't eat because I was sleeping. I was asleep. So
I know, but that's you don't have any energy.
I was so thirsty. I drank like a quart of Crystal Light. Then I had some like soup before we started. So that's all. So, I thought was interesting, and this is some tinfoil hat stuff, but remember, like a long time ago, there was these fires in Hawaii?
Yes.
And they were all weird? Yeah.
Yes.
And people were talking about an energy weapon.
Yes.
And no one said that's science fiction, that's crazy, that's weird. Everyone just said, no, that didn't happen. But they didn't say that the technology wasn't there, which is interesting because Israel has unveiled its iron laser, which, they have the Iron Dome. And this also brings up stuff that I remember I had you play that Hamas recruitment video. Shows them they like dig up water pipes and they make missiles out of them. And we're paying like, I know I have the price now. Each missile that Israel fires from the Iron Dome, each one that it fires to counter a missile costs $50,000. So if they might shoot 2, 3 to get a missile. So why are we buying missiles and paying like $50,000, $100,000 for these missiles, and these jackwagons can just make them out of water pipes?
Because it's all contracts that go back. Literally, we had I don't know if it was a senator or a congressperson. It was some person here in Oklahoma, and she was speaking at this thing, and she goes, I mean, people know that like this money comes right back to us. It's all in contracts. When they were talking about the Ukraine money, she was speaking at this event, and it's on like tape.
Yeah, she like said the part that everybody was thinking out loud.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's not but it's like, back in the day when we were kids, people would complain like, why are you paying so much for a hammer for a toilet seat? Then we realized, oh, that's not really what they're doing. They're funding black projects with it.
Well, and they're doing multiple things with it, because why waste a good crisis or whatever the saying is. They're also trying to kill a bunch of people. They're also trying to take over power. They're also trying to cause a lot of fear. They're also trying
this iron laser thing goes to that with the Iron Dome. It's just a straight laser like from Star Wars or Star Trek.
Maybe that's what happened in Arkansas. My mom sent me an article that these people they thought it was a meteor, and when their deck, they could see smoke happening, and then it burned a hole in their hot tub and melted the side of their hot tub, and the water from the hot tub put out the fire in their deck. But then they went out, and when they were cleaning up, they were searching with a magnet, and they found like this metallic piece of metal that was left over. And so, but it takes forever to have the rock or the whatever validated as a meteorite. But they're saying they think that's the only thing it could be, because like their deck just caught on fire and out of nowhere. But unless it's this laser.
Well, the laser thing is very interesting. Now, I know the U.S. was developing this like years and years and years and years and years ago, and it was for shooting down missiles, but it was being deployed on several Navy ships, and also it's cheap. It just costs the power to which they said the iron laser costs $2,000 to take down a missile, but it puts out 2.2 grams of TNT equivalent every second. So it's like they say kilos, so it's like 5 pounds of dynamite every minute. And boats, especially like civilian boats or drug runner boats, pirate boats, all those are usually made of wood and aren't very sturdy. So the U.S. is looking at using this laser against missiles, and also against most crafts out in the ocean. They can just point a laser at it, sink it, or at least disable it. So we've been working on it for a long time, but this is, and it's not huge. It's not like like a little laser gun, but it fits like in a truck. And Israel has this already. A year ago, they had Biden was over there, and they were taking like press photos and stuff with it, with him in front of it. So that's getting rolled out now. But I thought it was very interesting how like it wasn't not a big deal was made about.
Now, Iran has this?
No, Israel has it, and we have it.
Has it? Okay.
Yeah. But whether or not it was used, and if it was, it wouldn't have to have been in space, which everyone says that, all the conspiracies that it was like a satellite. It is mounted on some Navy ships, which are all in Hawaii. I just thought it was odd when that, like things kind of clicked. That, because whenever we get something, any kind of technology that we can see, we have to know it's like 10 years behind what air quotes they have. Mm-hmm. So they have to have some massive that they have that program has to be so far ahead now, to where they can start talking about aliens, like we have the ability to fight against the aliens. Is the only reason I think they would bring it up, or admit to it, and bring it to light. What do you think?
So are you saying like ground to air, like from the movie The 4th of July or whatever would be the use case?
What, Independence Day, you mean?
Independence Day, yes. I'm sorry.
Well, no, that's what they're doing now, the ground to air. That's what they're using it for. And like I said, it does, 5 pounds of TNT a minute. That's a really powerful laser. You could shoot that at just think about 5 pounds of dynamite could do to a car or, a building. And they said it cost $2,000 to take down a. So because I was wondering, like, how much power do you need to generate that?
I don't see their motivation for doing something so cheap. I think they like spending the money, because then it's more money they can move around. I think they use wars to move money around.
Yeah, but Israel, I think, actually cares about the costs. So they're wanting to lower the cost, because it's not like it's like us with the border. And man, did you see what Marjorie Taylor Greene said about the people that busted into the Capitol?
The ones that were, she was calling it an insurrection
Yeah,
for
this is
supporting
insurrection.
Hamas or whatever.
Yeah, this is insurrection. These people need to, like, good for the goose, good for the gander kind of stuff. And
Well, that's where they are really showing two
yeah,
standards of justice across the board. I mean, whether
completely.
that's how Trump's being treated versus how, people going into the Capitol are being treated versus how, um, I mean, just across the board. You're
Well, I
seeing,
mean, we saw that, and people saw that when, especially when they were finding all the documents that Biden had,
yeah.
and people were like, "Well, no, this is different," because and it was like it was dumb. And then people are trying to say that like the Trump stuff was worse documents. He had like launch codes or something. I mean, it was
But
ridiculous.
he was actually the president.
Yeah, and the big crazy thing is like he's the president and has this stuff,
Right.
um, and it's in his garage. It's like wasn't he like Trump at least had it in more of a secure area.
Hmm.
He has like pictures of there's a picture of him like in his Corvette, and like you could see the box in the background in the garage.
Well, and they had a bunch in Chinatown. They had a bunch, I mean,
Yeah,
all
and
over.
and
Yeah.
so people saw
Hmm.
people know and people have accepted it, and that's what's really scary. I think that people are kind of they know what the deal is. They know. I think more and more people, and it makes me sad, but it's like people are starting to think like me and talk like me, and it's very very sad because I was talking to my friend Nikki Maple, and he was so down talking about I think crypto is going to make it and it's going to win, but I don't think it'll be our lifetime. And I was like, oh man, you got to have faith. And I was like, dude, you're like, it's like if I had to try to pep you up, you know, I'm having to pep up people that I know that like I used to go to for,
Yeah.
positivity. Um, so yeah, I know. What is it? 2,000 Palestinian children have already been murdered, and the U.S. government is giving Israel billions of dollars for the war. Yeah, that's
They're
yeah.
feeding both sides of the war
They're
because there's a fund for
yeah. We gave millions and billions to Iran
Iran
to
as well.
Hamas.
Yeah,
Um, it's
it's wrong.
it's evil and it's
It is
terrible, but
evil.
that's what war is, man. You know, um, it's like I said last week. There's so many things that are black and white, and then they're not black and white. It's like Russia should not have invaded Ukraine. It's completely black and white. It's evil. It's wrong. But NATO. You understand why they did it, but what they did was completely wrong. But you
But do you
understand
think
why
that's what's
they did
being shown is that the wars and who's funding it is what's really the evil part?
it. Yeah.
That the powers that be and the agendas behind it, the lies that are being told, that that's really the evil part, not the people. We the people, and the people don't really hate each other, and they're not hurting each
That's
other.
who's dying. That's who's dying. It's the
That's who's dying, that's who's suffering.
people that die, people that suffer. Um, and I've been saying this every day. I'll keep saying it. It's not going to change until we make war not profitable.
Mm.
That's it. I think, and it goes against. This is the Sarah Huckabee thing. Like what she did in making that law made us both be like, yeah, that's cool, that's good. But then you're like,
Then you think it through.
yeah. Then I said, no, but she's actually banning speech. That's a terrible government thing to do.
Yeah.
So
And it's not sustainable. Like, I understand her point in it, but you have to do it the right way where you're not infringing on other people's rights.
but
There's a way to do something if it is the right thing without infringing on others' rights.
what I said is that we have to make it that where war is not profitable. Like you have to put caps. Like you can only make a 20% profit on a missile. You can only make a 10% profit on a missile when it comes to funding war. So after the war, instead of all the trillion or so that BlackRock is going to make from rebuilding
Right.
Ukraine, they have to do everything just at cost or above cost.
Or decentralize it,
Yeah.
or not decentralize, distribute it. If there was distribution in the rebuilding, or if it went back to the people for the rebuilding, then that wouldn't be the problem. Is the contracts. The problem is the old boy network, the handshakes.
Yeah, that has to go. The whole network,
That
and
has
then
to
there
go.
has to be caps and limits put on it, because then it's just not worth it. It's just
Is that part of the umbrella promise? The like the anti-lobbying is that, could that same model be applied in that situation?
I think it could.
I wonder. We should talk to IAM
I am, yeah,
about that.
because that I mean that he was more focused on governing and everything, but yeah, that would just be one aspect of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
because if it forced distribution of the work, of it forced distribution of the funds for rebuilding.
And had total transparency on what stuff
And
costs.
had transparency on it.
Yeah, and then that would be, yeah, but I think nothing is going to change. It's just going to get worse. And now they're talking about escalation, and I think it's very interesting that there's refugees and they want to send them to all the same places: Europe, United States, and what was it? Egypt, Syria, and someone else. They said, no, we're not taking any refugees. They're like right there, you're next door, and they're like, no, we don't want any of those people. There's so many people calling for that. Oh, all these mass immigrations and all the open borders. Now all those people are there, and they're all terrorist cells, and they're all going to attack your country. So much fear, man. So many threats. I mean, Europe. I watch videos where people are just like, yeah, Europe's done. I live here. Sweden's done. Sweden's like the rape capital of Europe now.
Oh my God.
It's there's just with all the migration and refugees, the landscape of Europe has changed so much. I told you, Lee told me that the number one name in Ireland is
Mohammed.
I was like, no, you mean it's the number one name in the world? I know that. And he's like, no, that's the new name. That's the number one name. I said, I think it's with Sean. He said, it used to be Sean, but it's not. No longer driving. All right. How's your mom doing?
She's doing really good. Yeah. Yeah, things are moving along for my family and my sister, and so hopefully.
I saw Miss Teen Crypto said something to her on Twitter. She was a sweetheart.
Yeah. So doing well and looking forward to the future. So it's good.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. The Flood. Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan is from Boston. I think there's a statue of him in Austin. He is Austin music. He started it all pretty much. He was like a god.
Are you looking things up on your computer, or are you talking to someone in your room?
I'm talking to Alex.
Okay. Oh, hey, Alex.
You didn't finish spelling a word in the text, so it was just.
I'm sorry, I was rushing because we were going live.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
My friend was gone for the weekend, and then he asked if Alex or Jay could pick up the package from Temu that was on his porch. So Alex picked up the package, and he texted me right before we went live. can Alex bring the package now to my house? And I was like, I'm going live. And he's like, well, we're about to leave. So text Alex the number. And I said, Dave, text Troy. But I forgot to spell. I didn't spell it right. So he didn't know what I was saying. They are okay. So JDO, this is what I've heard, that they're going to close the border more. So they're going to take more land, make it smaller. The main reason is to take down the land in the south where the tunnels are, and then they're going to just fill them with cement.
So how did Trump have peace there previously?
Because he's not a warmonger. I mean, that's honestly the only thing. It's the only reason. He's just not a warmonger. Everyone's a warmonger. It's
because I heard something about by funding Iran that somehow that causes some kind of like these kind of like an MS-13 kind of, or Black Lives Matter kind of, or Antifa kind of groups that come in as Hamas or whatever.
mm-hmm.
And that's who's fighting or attacking Israel or whatever.
Iran
but
is
it's not the Palestinian people that
Iran is basically, that's the thing. If the Palestinian people
are being used as like proxy.
Are being occupied by Hamas. Hamas like took
That's
over.
what I'm
So
hearing.
that's like it's a shitty situation, and they live in a terrible place. It's an open air prison. Straight up, they live in an open air prison. Their water, their power, all comes from Israel. They're not allowed to like move. You grow up like the biggest, hugest, most thing you could dream to be is the mayor of the prison. That's it. The warden. That's it. That's like one day you can be mayor of this prison. It's a shitty place. It's a shitty life. It's a shitty situation. But you still don't kill, people that go to a music concert. It's not evil's evil, Evil's evil. And but I was saying Iran is basically like the George Soros of terrorist groups, and they just fund it. Any money they get is that they fund it.
But Israel's not attacking Iran.
No, because that's what everybody wants, or that's what Hamas wants. They want Israel to do something so bad that it galvanizes
starts World War III.
No, that it galvanizes the Arab states, all of them. So I told you there's 4 different groups. One of them is the Jews, the Sunnis, anyway, there's like 4 of them. One of them is the Jews, and they don't really get along with each other. But if those other 3 get together, they attack Israel, which all the Arab states tried to attack Israel back when they first formed the country. And there's a lot of crazy stuff that happened, I think it was an Iraqi whole tank division surrendered to like 10 soldiers because they said that there were angels like all around them, and they were scared shitless, and they like bowed down, and that's what they said. They never changed their story. So a lot of really weird, crazy stuff. Also, they had no Air Force. So like old Vietnam pilots were going over there from the United States to fly like old jets, and they fought all their countries combined that came at them, and they won. But anyway, let's just say so Hamas is trying to get Israel to do something terrible and then push it to galvanize everyone against them so that everyone else will attack Israel. And if that happens, then we're going to, of course, that's what we're going for. Like, we're already sending troops there. France had troops there the day after and tanks. To me, that seems like it was planned. you know.
Yeah, I
And
think
they had to know it was coming. They had to know it was coming. I think they know something's coming. They might as well, you know, get it, like rip the Band-Aid off. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. Benji N was in trouble trying to expand his powers, and there was a huge protest against him. Plus all of the deaths from Pfizer. Uh, Israel needed a distraction. That is,
yeah, I heard that
all of those things did happen.
not just Pfizer, but Johnson and Johnson is considering bankruptcy for all the lawsuits that they're having to pay out against them. That was news today.
Really?
Yeah, they're
Well,
considering filing bankruptcy.
it's interesting.
So if Big Pharma starts going, that would be what's being covered up too.
But what's interesting, is that that's what I took. I took the Johnson & Johnson, the early one, because it was a real vaccine. My doctor told the boys, "Oh no, all the other stuff's RNA. It's experimental, blah blah blah." He goes, "Johnson & Johnson, it's an actual vaccine that."
Yeah, and then you ended up in the hospital.
Yes, I did, and I had heart problems.
And now you have heart problems. Yes,
but I don't have RNA. And I didn't none of that weird stuff. And there was no boosters. I remember, like, I would go to the emergency room, and they were like, "Did you have boosters? 2 or 3? Or how many boosters you had?" I'm like, "I had the RNA. I had the Johnson & Johnson." And they're like, "Oh, okay. How many boosters you had?" And I'm like, "I said I had the Johnson & Johnson's a traditional vaccine." "Okay, but so did you have some boosters? How many boosters?" And I'm like, "Dude, you're a nurse. You should know that there's no boosters." Like, "Yes, there are." So the doctor comes in and goes, "How many you vaccinated?" "Yeah." "How many boosters?" I said, "I had the Johnson & Johnson. It's a traditional vaccine, like polio. There's no boosters." And he's like, "Yeah, there's no boosters?" They had to go look. They had to go check. He's like, "Yeah, you're right." I was like, "Oh my God. You people are terrible." you just pimp out whatever the hell the companies tell you to. But my point is, it's interesting that they're having trouble. Johnson & Johnson did, and they didn't go. They didn't jump on the RNA, the bandwagon until later on. There was no continuing shots. It was just a traditional vaccine, and now they're having all this trouble.
They're considering bankruptcy.
Yep.
And claims. So that's maybe some of the cover up as well. We'll see.
Yeah. Something I thought that was so odd when it first started, and everyone was like freaked out and like really scared, and like these small countries like Guam and all these other countries, they were like they said our scientists have looked at this, and this has the hallmarks of a man-made virus. This looks like something that was changed for gain of function. They broke, and then they were shut down. The world is like, no, shut up, and then they would retract stuff. But I don't know. I think the things are changing. I think we need to keep our eye on Africa. I think Africa, and I think, of course, Russia.
Well, and wasn't Israel one of the most
vaccinated?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, like they said, like Israel, Phil said it, and Israel has the best intelligence on the planet, or we do. But a lot of our stuff they develop. So there's no fucking way. Did I send you that picture of the Economist?
Yeah. Well, I saw it in WBRT.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know the Economist is a Rothschild magazine that they put out. They put out Bitcoin like back in the 80s. They put out a cover with a bee, the eagle. They always like you can always go back 10 years ago. They have this this like cartoon was the cover, and on the top there's a Hamas fighter coming in on a what's it called, a hang glider, and they got Netanyahu on the other side, and everything. If you look at the picture, there's so many things. It's like they tell you what they're gonna do, man.
It has a lot of stuff on it. I can you pull it up, or you want me to pull it up? Or?
You want to pull it up? Yeah.
Hold on, I'll find it. Oh Lord, my husband's been on my computer, so I may not be able to get back to you.
That is, I think, not extinction, but control. You know, population control. Population control, one, because it's easier to control a smaller amount of people. I think that's one of the big things is that they know they're going to get overrun. Amen to that. You got it?
I don't know. I don't think I can do it. He jacked up my computer. Let me try it. Something else. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it to do.
Where's my phone? Here it is.
Hold on. Let me try this. Hold on.
Try it. Oops, that's Facebook.
Window. It's only doing. Yeah, he's. No, I can't because of the way he did like my screen. He like zoomed it out.
There you go.
And I can't.
You can go to
my screen, not full screen.
Twitter. Show the Twitter.
Okay, but it's going to show like the whole thing.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Well, maybe I can do this. Hold on. Maybe it'll work like this.
Maybe it will.
Let me try.
It is a very...
It's going to work like that.
Very crazy picture. Okay, there we go.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Okay.
So can you zoom in on it a little?
Ooh.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah. See, there's the Hamas coming in on, of course, they're both flying devil, whatchamacallit, hang gliders.
Like all the 7 sins are there.
Yeah, and they got you scroll down, like the devil's standing there, climate control or climate change. He's controlling everything from that.
Oh, right here. Climate change.
Yeah.
Sloth. Oh, that looks like what's her name from the...
That's Angela Merkel.
Oh, is that Angela? Okay, I thought it looked like what's her name from the Treasury.
No, this was 10 years ago. So there's Barack Obama there. And the euro is
and it says pride.
Oh, really?
It says pride on his boat.
Wow. And that means double things coming out about you.
Mm-hmm. What does this say? Rocker, cackler, rackler,
whacker,
center,
whacker, centre, something. Oh, I know. I can just look at the freaking picture.
Who's this little guy peeking out? That's the euro, right? The bankers. Libra.
No way.
I think that's what it says.
Hacker Central. That's what it's. The Hacker Central. So they're hacking.
Oh, or does it say LIBOR?
The bankers. LIBOR. Yeah. No, LIBOR.
Greed.
But they say bankers are on there. Wall Street, oil.
America pouring the oil in their mouth.
British journalists are being dumped into the fire in the back.
Oh my.
It says Hamas on his little headband.
India, coal, China, coal.
China working together, which that's what they're starting to do.
Lust.
Yeah.
Who are these people?
Squarehead, I don't know.
Washington
I think it's
General.
interesting they know about the British journalism, being destroyed. How now in Canada they're censoring podcasts and telling people what they can do and what they can't. It's nuts, man. It is nuts. And it's also weird that so many people are still relevant.
Tea Party.
Like Macron, yeah. It's nuzzled up with Wall Street. How come it looks like a downward scale? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But that is weird about the Obama guy and the pride. And this thumbs up with the devil and the arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very odd. Well.
Craziness.
Yeah, it's so. What does the explosion say?
I think it says wrath.
Yeah.
I can't get it any bigger because I think it's the 7 sins. Greed, gluttony, pride, lust,
sloth. Yeah,
sloth.
It is. This end times kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If surprised we find out that Iran has a nuclear weapon, then yeah, it would be the end days for us. But I don't know. I know it's going to get worse. I know it's going to get bigger. And nobody cares. Nobody cares, man. There was going to be peace, and Boris Yeltsin went and stopped it from being peace in Ukraine. And people are like, "Oh, that's terrible. Oh, no, that's so terrible." I think the end is coming. I think either Trump wins and everything changes, or Trump loses and he stops playing around and makes the call, and that's when it all.
Well, that's why I think if it's the end of the year, end of October, and he comes back in November through the House, because we're in a war situation and people realize, look,
I think it'd be good to throw him up just as a vote, just to have him voted no, have him lose. I think that would rock the Republican Party, and they should do it. If Jordan can't get it, if they put Trump up there and they were able to vote without people knowing, nope, he's not going to win. He's not going to take it. And unless Jordan would have won if they would have forced everyone to vote. And these people, they have to be primaried. They have to be kicked out.
I agree, and it needs to be public. Yeah,
everything should be public.
It should be. But I think that's where when he said we have enough votes, we need to watch the voters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what he was saying. And that only happens when we get involved.
When I was stationed at the DMZ, we were told North Korea had a nuke in America, and I've been told this shit. That was 97. So you were there in 97. Phil, when you were there, if a soldier was killed by a North Korean soldier, was that classified as a training accident? Let me know. Right
Here's the other thing they were talking about that Westwood brought up, the whole Bay of Pigs thing, and we were worried about nukes being in Cuba. Apparently, Xi came and visited the president of Mexico. If we're worried about something being in Mexico, like that's literally our back door.
Yeah, we have our nose in so many countries' business, like Iran.
Right. But we're not paying attention to what's
We
happening.
don't have our nose in Mexico's business. Mexico, they shouldn't be at the mercy of
Yes.
cartels. They shouldn't be so corrupt that they're scared. The cops, good cops and good politicians are scared to do anything. We should have helped them. We should have not allowed anything to get that bad in their country. They're our neighbors, for God's sake.
Right.
Yeah, Phil said it was a training accident. That was standard. That's what everyone's always told me. North Korea, if you die, it's training accident. It's completely covered.
That's standard.
Yeah.
Messaging to your family.
Yep.
Terrible. Yeah.
See, Israel can't have a civil war. There's too many countries that so many people want to hurt them, and that they're surrounded by wolves, and they can't have a civil war.
They have to stand together.
Yeah, it's like they're forced to. It's like every day is Christmas, and you gotta be with that cousin and uncle that you really hate. they just have to. All right. Well, we've been going on for a while.
All right.
You're hungry.
I am. I can smell dinner.
It was good hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, great to catch up and great conversation. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, let me find a video to go out with. Yeah, this one's pretty good. So, due to fractional reserve banking and the Fed just printing up money, the system's going to collapse. Is that correct?
That is correct.
It seems like fiat money is just backed by violence. Is there any way to fix the current crooked system?
No.
So cryptocurrency gives